보통 사건이냐? 대통령이 직접 와서 대국민 퍼포먼스까지 갖고 온 사건이야.
해결할 좋은 놈이 하나 있습니다. 이건 선택의 여지가 없다. 무조건 범인이 있어야 돼. 과정은 필요 없고 잡고 재판 때리고 집어넣고.
이 검사들 알고 보면 우리도 좋은 일 많이 한다고.
여론이 집중된 사건인 만큼 주프로 네가 이 동생 맡아.
호의가 계속되면은 그게 권리인 줄 알아.
영감님 사람 참 불편하게 하는 재주가 있으신데 나랑 자꾸 라이벌 관계를 가지려고 하지 마. 니네같이 법 안 지키는 새끼들이 더 잘 먹고 잘 살아.
우린 목숨 걸고 하잖아. 배우가 필요하다. 그 말씀하시는 거예요?
3일 준다.
저한테 왜 이러시는 거예요?
나 지금부터 범인해라.
이동석이 내일부로 경찰로 넘어가. 잘못되면 알지.
내가 겁이 많아서 검사가 된 사람이야.
이거 잘못하면 절대 나 혼자 못 죽는 거 알죠?
멋있다 이 새끼들.
Synopsis of the Unjust movie is about the rape and murder of 5 elementary school girls, a crime which deeply upset the entire country. Choi Chul-gi, who is a police assigned by a senior police officer to investigate these cases. This mission is Choi Chul-gi need to locate a former child rapist who can take the blame. After the investigation of the cases, DNA testing ultimately worked on the body of the girl mentioned earlier. So, the DNA result proved that Lee Dong-soo as the real rapist all along. The Unjust movie is also about corruption, blackmail and murder. In this movie, Jang Suk-go is a CEO of Hidong Company and also a corrupt businessman. Meanwhile, Jo, who is a public prosecutor, cancelled the criminal charge against a corrupt business named Kim Yang-soo, who is TK chairman and also Jang Suk-go competitor. In the meantime, Jang Suk-go, who is tired of being blackmailed by Choi Chul-gi, have saved Lee Dong-soo coaching session video. In return, Jang Suk-go take this opportunity to blackmail Choi Chul-gi. Choi Chul-gi and Jang Suk-go assistant conspire to kill Jang Suk-go. When Jang Suk-go got off the elevator by cut the wire elevator. Before Jang Suk-go assistant died, he gave Choi Chul-gi footage on training Lee Dong-soo and a phone conversation. Choi Chul-gi pretend to make peace with Jang Suk-go assistant, then kill him. However, Choi Chul-gi lieutenant see the incident and he wrestled with Choi Chul-gi to try to stop him. During the battle among them, Choi Chul-gi unintentionally killed his lieutenant. Then Choi Chul-gi stabbed the dead body with a knife so that the police will assume that Jang Suk-go assistant and the lieutenant killed each other. In the end of the movie, Choi Chul-gi also died because Jang Suk-go henchmen ambushed Choi Chul-gi at a channel house and killed Choi Chul-gi in revenge.
My name is Nurmazah binti Hamzah and my metric number is 263164. Now I will continue about the summary of case issue. First is conflict between the police and the greedy prosecutor. This has also occurred among law enforcement individuals. There is no honesty and confidence in doing a job and only the pursuit of money alone. The film shows deep irony and at the same time the crime continues to avoid closure until the end. This shows the crime between defendant and law enforcement behaving like pathological criminals. The effect of the injustice shown in this film caused the legal system in each country to be the same as what happened in the film. Second is corruption. A police officer has committed an offence by killing the key suspect before a concrete proof is available. A huge sum was given to the actor so that he decided to confess to the murder he did not commit. Due to significant corruption, this has led the public to mistrust the authorities. Therefore, to stop this from happening again, the authorities should take the initiative. Third is rape and murder. It is also connected with a murder and rape of a schoolgirl at the beginning of the novel. But before launching an investigation, the perpetrator was killed by the police. There are several more murders seen in this novel. However, such as the police captain hiring a gangster to kill the actor he hired to avoid the leakage of his secret. After that, the gangster recruited by the police captain was also murdered because he no longer wished to be in touch with them. And in the meantime, his team was also shot to death. And in the end, the police captain himself was killed because of the revenge motive.
Ethical awareness. First, distrust in public, corruption. In order to increase corruption awareness, people need to increase level of information and public awareness toward corruption. Various anti-corruption awareness programs in the community to encourage cooperation among them and people engagement in improving national integrity. Second, abuse of law, such as blackmail and murder. The best way to improve awareness toward crime like murder and blackmail is by add new information toward your understanding about criminal technique, tactic, and prior effective method. Through awareness, you are mentally can identify potential danger. The more effective you will be able to move to safety when threatened. Third, rape and murder. Awareness and education are the most effective and practical way of stopping rape. The murder of rape case will decrease if when women recognize the rape can happen to them anytime and anywhere, and when men understand what constitutes rape.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurashida binti Rosli. My metric number is 263175 and I'm going to present about awareness of stakeholders. The content of this subsection can address a few questions such as: first, who are the stakeholders of the ethical issue mentioned above? The stakeholders of the ethical issues mentioned above is Choi Cheol-gi as Hwan Jun-min, brother-in-law, Ju Yan as Ryu Seung-bom, a public prosecutor, Jang Seok-go as Yoo Hae-jin, CEO Haedin, Kim Yang-soo as Ju Yong-jin, TK chairman, and Lee Dong-seok as Woo Dong-gi, school bus driver. The second question is, why did the parties do unethical thing? Choi Cheol-gi as Hwan Jun-min's brother-in-law do unethical thing, that is Choi brother-in-law by receiving money from Jan, who is corrupt businessman. Meanwhile, Ju, who is corrupt prosecutor, cancels the criminal charge against a corrupt businessman named Kim, who is also Jan's competitor, in an offer for a building contract brought on by an investigation which led by Choi, while Ju Yang as Ryu Seung-bom, a public prosecutor, cancels the criminal charge against a corrupt businessman named Kim in an offer for a building contract. The other parties are Jang Seok-go as Yoo Hae-jin, CEO Haedon, the police officer Choi Cheol-gi, then enlists the help of gangster Jang Seok-gu, the Haedon CEO, to frame a possible suspect as the serial killer. This section is really unethical because he used his power to cooperate with the gangster. Besides Kim Young-soo as Jo Yeon-jin TK chairman, he gives a present that is a luxury watch to Ju Yang, that is the prosecutor from Seoul District Office for his business, and the last party is Lee Dong-seok as Woo Dong-gi, that is the school bus driver. It's unethical for police and the gangster that ask the suspect to lie and find the wrong suspect, that is Lee Dong-seok. There is a scapegoat in this movie that they use him to take the blame for the crime. The third question is, do they have better alternatives? Yes, they have better alternative to solve this problem. They should follow the laws that have been set by their country as a sign that they love their country. This is because when they comply with the law, the country will be free from problems, especially involving justice as well in terms of law. Besides, they also have to be honest and confident in doing a job, not just because of money. When they only care about money, all the work done will be careless. All the law will not be obeyed because they only care about money without thinking about honesty and law. In fact, human rights should also be considered. For example, in the movie The Unjust, human rights were ignored when Lee Dong-seok was forced to admit that he was involved in the murder and rape case. If he was found not guilty, then his fundamental rights were violated. And the last question is, what constraint did the parties face or encounter? Among the constraints faced by the party is Lee Dong-seok. He was forced to admit that he was involved in the rape and murder case of 5 elementary school girls. He also is a scapegoat in this movie because they use him to take the blame for the crime. Besides, the other constraints faced by the parties is Kim Young-soo and Ju Yang. They were playing golf at Namyeonju, and at the same time, Jang Seok-go henchman also takes photo of them. Then the henchman approved, give Kim Young-soo and kill him. To ensure that Jang Seok-go will never be prosecuted, the photos are delivered to Ju Yang. Next is Choi Chil-gi. Despite that, in order to prove Choi Chil-gi have connection with Jang Seok-go, the subordinates released the coaching video, and they order Jang Seok-go henchmen to ambush Choi Chil-gi at a charnel house and kill Choi Chil-gi in revenge. Lastly is Jang Seok-go, who is tired of being blackmailed by Choi Chil-gi, have saved Lee Dong-seok coaching session videos. In return, Jang Seok-go take this opportunity to blackmail Choi Chil-gi. Choi Chil-gi and Jang Seok-go assistant conspired to kill Jang when Jang got off the elevator by cut the wire elevator.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatina Dira binti Zulkafli. My metric number is 263439. Okay, for my part is the ethical reasoning. Okay, for the ethical reasoning for this movie is the first part is the issue is distrust in public. Okay, that is corruption. This issue that is distrust in the public sector that is corruption also wrong. The reason why this issue is unethical because corruption is a complex of social, political, and economic phenomenon that everyone knows will affect all countries and hinders in the rule of law. And it can include such as the abuse of power, bribery, embezzlement of public funds, and others. And this movie also shows when someone also use the way for cover their team on the bribery charge. In the Unjust movie, the corruptions happens when TK chairman give a present that is a luxury watch to Joe Young that is the prosecutor from Seoul District Office for his business. Also, it happens when the Choi brother-in-law receiving money from Jang, who is corrupt businessman. This action is unethical because all people know that corruption can give negative impact in this world. Also, corruption can hinder sustainable development and the respect for human rights. For the next issue is the abuse of the law. There is a blackmail and murder. In this Unjust movie, this issue is something that really unethical. The reason why this issue is unethical because the abuse of the law will result in an immoral offense. If someone is doing their job or doing something else, they need to be responsible in all things that they make and not abuse the law. We feel it's unethical for cops to do the bad things that is not necessary in their job. In this movie, it starts when Captain Chochogi, that is a police officer, is chosen to do the dirty work. This time around, the police brass guarantees a promotion if he is able to close the case that is a series of murders targeting children, so he chooses to do the work for a promotion. Also, the police officer, Choi Chogi, then enlists the help of gangster Jang Sok-gu, the head-on CEO, to frame a possible suspect as the serial killer. This action is really unethical because he used his power to cooperate with the gangster. This kind of action is totally wrong and bad. He should be obligated to follow all the same laws they are enforcing. The last issue is the rape and murder. The reason why this rape and murder case can be unethical because it is wrong in the law and it is civil and criminal commitment. This also happened in this movie when there is a case of the rape and murder of 5 elementary school girls. This issue has happened a lot now because of the lack of humanity in a person. Meanwhile, Jang Sok-gu, the head-on CEO, who is tired of being blackmailed by Choi, has self-recording of Lee's coaching session and blackmails Choi in return. Captain Choi reacts and have a plan by murdering Jang using a rich elevator and pretends to make peace with Jang's assistant before murdering him as well. However, this incident is seen by Choi Lieutenant, that is Lieutenant Ma, who wrestles with Choi and tries to stop him during the struggle. Captain Chogi accidentally kills his lieutenant, and after that he stabbed the dead body with a knife so that the police will assume that Jang's assistant and the lieutenant killed each other.
I will continue about the ethical suggestion. Okay, there are some ethical suggestions. The first suggestion is effectiveness in justice. Effectiveness must be ensured in the service of justice and the court in order to deal with political corruption. Order and harmony are assured by justice in society. Any universal value must be adopted in order to create justice in society. And this must be implemented in the relationship between individual or relationship between individual and government. Okay, second is prevent abuse of the law. There must be specific ethical and technical standards for universal criminal prosecutor to eradicate the atmosphere of prosecution from unethical behavior, which is ethical training mandate for all criminal prosecutors. Discipline and trust and disclosing prosecutor misconduct to bar connection by courts and supervisor and internal law of the prosecutor office with a professional integrity unit and amend. Third is principle of justice. Fair punishment is supposed to impact the definition of the crime by the death penalty. If the penalty is mandatory and serious, such as imprisonment for a period of 25 years or a longer, definition of the murder will be required to be more restrictive than in a jurisdiction where there is no mandatory minimum, so that the sentence can be accompanied by a short of substitute prison sentence and safeguard. Okay, that's all from me.
In conclusion, the Unjust movie tells about the rape and murder of 5 elementary school girls, a crime which deeply upsets the entire country. This movie involves several characters. Among the characters involved is Kim Seung-hoon, the character as Yoo Min-chol, the fleeing suspect. Hwan Joo-min hold the character as Choi Cheol-gi, who is a police captain. Yo Hae-jin hold the character as Jang Seok-go, who is a CEO of Haedong Company. Ryo Seung-bon hold the character as Joo Young, who is a public prosecutor. Jo Yeon-jin hold the character as Kim Young-soo, who is TK chairman, and Woo Dong-gi hold the character as Lee Dong-seok, who is a school bus driver. In this movie, there are several conflicts. The main conflict is between the Choi police and the greedy Jo prosecutor. Originally, this lawyer was repeatedly taken down for promotion, but this eventually dripped with overconfidence and freedom. In addition, prosecutor Ju has also been associated with a developer of Vanilla. Both characters portray law, and in their interpretation, both take drastic liberties. This has also occurred among law enforcement individuals. Not only in movie alone, the abuse of this law exists, but often exists around the country in practice. For one, there is no honesty and confidence in doing a job, and only the pursuit of money alone. There are many factors that make this happen. The film shows deep irony, and at the same time, the crime continues to avoid closure until the end. This shows the crime between defenders and law enforcement behaving like pathological criminals. The the effect of the injustice shown in this film caused the legal system in each country to be the same as what happened in the film. Besides, there are some lessons learned from this movie. Among them is we need to have a great sense of responsibility in obeying the laws that have been set by a country. This matter is very important in ensuring the peace of the country remains secure, and this can prevent this country from negative things that can ruin the future of all. Everyone should follow the law that have been set and do not arbitrarily do immoral things. In this Unjust movie, it happened when Jang Seok-go, the Haedong CEO, want to frame a possible suspect as the serial killer. This is not the good example of someone that be a CEO, because every word that they say is measured by their employee, done by journalists, and weighed against law and regulation by a hungry plaintiff bar. This is why CEOs are often quiet on many issues of the day, but not all of the CEOs do immoral things. Therefore, all communities should have a high stance and do things that do not conflict with national law.
Okay, for the ethical lesson that we can learn from the case is we need to stay away from corruption, and stakeholders should be honest in doing their job and the trust that given to them. Everyone need to do their job honestly and be responsible in every job that they do. The lesson that we also learn from this case is in the Unjust movie is we need to have a great sense of responsibility in obeying the laws that have been set by country. And this matter is very important in ensuring the peace of the country remains secure, and this can prevent this country from negative things that can ruin the future of all. Everyone should follow the laws that have been set and do not arbitrarily do immoral things. The last lesson that we can learn in this case is that everyone should have human nature in themselves, because this nature is able to prevent a person from engaging in evil and negative things. Therefore, they need to understand and have knowledge related to ethics in life that they need to be learned. We need to know and figuring out what is good and right in our life.